Hey guys, it's your girl Cream and welcome back. Today's video is going to be extra spooky. We're diving into 3 bone-chilling ghost stories that will have you sleeping with the lights on tonight. Our first story takes us to the creepiest place imaginable, an abandoned asylum. This place has a reputation that sends shivers down the spine of even the bravest souls. Just picturing it gives me the heebie-jeebies. The mere thought of walking through its dark, decaying hallways is enough to make anyone's skin crawl. This particular asylum has been abandoned for decades, and locals whisper about the dark history within its walls. Stories of suffering and despair are etched into every corner of this forsaken place. They say patients were mistreated, subjected to cruel and inhumane treatments. Some even disappeared without a trace, their fates unknown, adding to the asylum's sinister legend. People claim to hear screams, moans, and a weird dragging sound coming from inside. These eerie noises have been reported by those brave enough to venture close to the building. So the story goes that a group of friends decided to explore the abandoned asylum. They were thrill seekers looking for a good scare and an adventure to remember. They'd heard the rumors but brushed them off as old wives' tales. They were skeptical, convinced that the stories were just exaggerated myths. As soon as they stepped inside, the air grew heavy and the smell hit them. A mix of stale air, disinfectant, and something off. It was a scent that hinted at the building's dark past. They started exploring, their flashlights cutting through the darkness, illuminating dusty rooms and peeling wallpaper. The atmosphere was thick with an unsettling silence. Everything was covered in grime, like no one had touched anything in decades. The layers of dust and dirt told a story of long abandonment. They found old medical equipment just lying around, rusted and covered in cobwebs. These relics of the past added to the eerie feeling that permeated the place. As they ventured deeper, they started hearing things. The whispers seemed to come from nowhere and everywhere at once, echoing through the empty halls. At first it was just faint whispers, but then the noises grew louder. The sounds became more distinct, more menacing, as if something was trying to communicate with them. It sounded like someone or something was following them. The feeling of being watched was overwhelming, sending chills down their spines. One of the friends, Sarah, started freaking out. Her fear was palpable, and she couldn't shake the feeling that they were not alone. She swore she saw something move in the shadows, a fleeting glimpse of a figure that seemed to vanish as quickly as it appeared. Her friends tried to calm her down, but even they were starting to feel uneasy. The atmosphere was getting to them, and their skepticism was fading. They decided to head back, but as they turned to leave, the door slammed shut. The sound echoed through the halls, amplifying their fear. They rattled the handle, but it wouldn't budge. They were trapped. The realization hit them hard, and panic began to set in. Panic set in as they realized they were locked inside with whatever was making those noises. The sense of dread was overwhelming. They banged on the door, screaming for help, but their cries were met with silence. The building seemed to swallow their voices, leaving them in eerie quiet. Suddenly, the lights in the hallway began to flicker. The intermittent light cast long, dancing shadows that played tricks on their eyes. Sarah swore she saw the figure again, clearer this time. It was no longer a fleeting shadow, but a distinct presence. It was tall and gaunt, with long, sharp claws, and its eyes glowed an eerie red. The sight was terrifying, like something out of a nightmare. The friends huddled together, terrified, as the figure lunged at them. Their hearts raced, and they could feel the cold grip of fear tightening around them. Sarah screamed, and then the figure vanished. It was as if it had never been there, leaving them questioning their sanity. The door swung open, and the friends stumbled out into the night. They didn't look back, desperate to escape the horrors they had witnessed. They never went back, forever haunted by what they had seen and heard. The experience left a mark on them, a reminder of the terror that lurks in forgotten places. Some say the asylum is still haunted, a place where tormented souls roam free. The legends continue to grow, fueled by the stories of those who dare to explore. So the next time you're thinking about exploring an abandoned asylum, remember this story. The unknown can be far more terrifying than any ghost story. You never know what might be lurking in the shadows. Sometimes the scariest things are the ones we can't see, but can only feel. Alright guys, let's dive into our second story, a real doozy about a haunted mansion. This mansion has a dark and twisted history passed down through generations. They say a wealthy family lived there, but tragedy struck when the wife, Eleanor, died under mysterious circumstances. Some say she fell ill, while others whisper about foul play. Whatever the truth, Eleanor's spirit never left the mansion. Now the mansion stands empty, slowly decaying with time. One day, a group of college students decided to explore the abandoned mansion. They'd heard the stories but dismissed them as silly superstitions. As they approached, a sense of unease settled over them. The air grew heavy and the temperature dropped. They cautiously made their way inside, their flashlights illuminating dusty furniture and cobweb-covered portraits. As they explored, they started to notice strange things. Doors creaked open on their own, floorboards groaned, and whispers seemed to follow them. One of the students, Jake, tried to rationalize the occurrences but couldn't deny the feeling of being watched. They reached a room at the end of a long hallway and saw a beautiful antique vanity. A silver hairbrush lay on the vanity, its bristles still holding strands of long, dark hair. Emily, one of the students, couldn't resist touching the hairbrush. As her fingers brushed against it, a chill ran down her spine and she felt a presence behind her. She turned slowly and gasped. Standing in the doorway was a woman in a flowing white gown. Her long, dark hair cascaded down her back, and her face was as white as a sheet. Her eyes, wide and filled with sadness, seemed to pierce through Emily. Emily stumbled back in terror, knocking over a vase that shattered on the floor. The sound broke the spell and the ghostly figure vanished. The students fled from the mansion in terror. They never returned, forever haunted by the encounter. Locals say Eleanor's spirit still haunts the mansion, searching for something to ease her restless soul. So, if you ever find yourself near a creepy old mansion, beware. You never know who or what might be waiting for you inside. Some say that Eleanor's spirit is bound to the mansion by a curse, one that can only be broken by uncovering the truth behind her death. Over the years, many have tried to solve the mystery, but none have succeeded. The mansion's eerie atmosphere and unexplained phenomena have driven even the bravest souls away. Newspaper clippings from the time of Eleanor's death hint at a scandal, but the details remain shrouded in secrecy. Recently, a team of paranormal investigators decided to take on the challenge, armed with the latest technology. They captured footage of ghostly apparitions and strange sounds, but the mystery of Eleanor's death remains unsolved. Time seems to stand still within the mansion's walls, as if the past and present are intertwined. Perhaps one day, someone will unlock the secrets of the haunted mansion and bring peace to Eleanor's restless spirit. Until then, the mansion remains a place of mystery and fear, a testament to the enduring power of the unknown. So remember, if you ever feel a chill in the air or hear a whisper in the dark, it might just be Eleanor, still searching for the truth. Chapter 3. Cursed Forest. Brace yourselves, because this final story is the creepiest one yet. It's a tale that will send shivers down your spine and make you question every shadow you see. We're talking about a cursed forest, a place so shrouded in darkness and mystery that even the bravest souls fear to enter. This forest is not just any ordinary woodland, it's a labyrinth of terror and despair. Legends say the forest is haunted by the spirits of those who dared to enter but never found their way out. These spirits are said to be trapped, forever wandering the endless maze of trees. They say these lost souls wander aimlessly among the trees, their whispers carried by the wind, their presence felt but never seen. Some say the forest itself is alive, its roots reaching out to trap unsuspecting travelers. The very ground beneath your feet could betray you, pulling you into the earth's cold embrace. There was this group of hikers who decided to camp out in the forest. They were seasoned adventurers, confident in their skills and dismissive of the old legends. They'd heard the stories but dismissed them as folklore, mere tales to scare children and tourists. As they ventured deeper, the sunlight began to fade, blocked by the dense canopy. The forest grew darker, the air thicker with an unspoken dread. The air grew colder and a thick fog rolled in, wrapping around them like a shroud. It was as if the forest itself was warning them to turn back. They pressed on, their laughter echoing through the silent trees, but the further they went, the more their confidence waned. But as the sun began to set, their laughter died down. The forest seemed to grow even darker, the shadows lengthening and deepening. The forest seemed to close in around them, the trees pressing closer. It was as if the forest was alive, breathing, watching their every move. They decided to set up camp for the night, hoping that morning would bring clear skies and a safe path out. They gathered around a small campfire, the flickering flames providing little comfort. The fire's light seemed to be swallowed by the darkness. As they huddled around the fire, they started to hear strange noises. The forest was no longer silent. It was alive with unsettling sounds. Twigs snapping, leaves rustling, and faint whispers carried on the wind. It was as if the forest was speaking to them, warning them. One of the hikers, Mark, tried to reassure the group. He told them it was just animals, nocturnal creatures going about their night. He told them it was just animals, nocturnal creatures, but even he couldn't shake the feeling that something was amiss, that they were being watched. But even he couldn't shake the feeling that something was amiss. The unease was palpable, a heavy weight pressing down on them. As the night wore on, the noises grew louder. The forest seemed to come alive with activity, the sounds growing more menacing. The hikers started to see things moving in the shadows, shapes that seemed to flicker and dance just beyond the reach of the firelight. They called out, but their voices were met with silence. The forest seemed to swallow their words, leaving only an eerie stillness. Panic set in as the hikers realized they were not alone. The forest was no longer just a backdrop, it was a living, breathing entity. Suddenly, a blood-curdling scream pierced the night. It was a sound that froze their blood and sent chills down their spines. The hikers scrambled to their feet, their hearts pounding in their chests. Fear had taken hold, and they were no longer in control. One of their own, Jessica, was gone, vanished without a trace. It was as if the forest had swallowed her whole. They searched for her frantically, calling her name, but it was no use. The forest had claimed her, and she was lost to them. Jessica was gone, swallowed by the cursed forest. The trees seemed to close ranks, hiding her from sight. The remaining hikers fled the forest, their screams echoing through the trees. They ran as if their lives depended on it, and perhaps they did. They emerged forever changed, haunted by the experience and the loss of their friend. The forest had taken something from them that they could never get back. Locals say Jessica's spirit now wanders the forest, searching for a way out. Her ghostly figure is said to appear to those who dare to enter, a warning of the fate that awaits. So, the next time you're thinking about taking a shortcut through the woods, think twice. The forest may seem inviting, but it holds secrets that are best left undisturbed. You never know what secrets lie hidden beneath the canopy. The forest is a place of mystery, and not all of its secrets are meant to be uncovered. Or what fate might befall you in the shadows of a cursed forest. The next step you take could be your last, and the forest will remember. Oh my god, you guys, I am so creeped out right now. Let me know in the comments which story scared you the most, and don't forget to subscribe for more spooky content. Bye guys.